Shradhavanjan hai, Shradhavanjan hai. Nadia Gojum Nityananda Mahajan. Nadia Gojum Nityananda Mahajan.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, all glories to assembled Vaishnavi devotees, and all glories to our revered speaker, His Grace GAUDA Prabhu. Well, Prabhuji needs no introduction. He's been so kind to us by visiting us and sharing his love and wisdom with us for so long. And today, he's here with us again. So without further ado, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, welcome. We may put the verse on the screen and then you may take it over from here.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Gurayet Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Thank you for inviting me for this Zoom class. It's always an opportunity to put me a little bit in the mood of I need to study something so I can say something for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada and the Vaishnavas. As all of you may know, last week His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj left us. I was with him a few weeks ago. Myself and Shuddha Kirti, we spent some time in Vrindavan with Maharaj, and I was telling Maharaj, just stay in Vrindavan. You can conduct all your affairs from here. But being a king, a warrior, wanting to be on the battlefield and taking care of his responsibilities, and also to deepen our love for him, he left this world. And you can see the beautiful glorifications for many devotees all over the world. And this is the result of Prabhupada's mercy and Bhagavatam and his dedication to the mission of Srila Prabhupada to spread this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. So we're fortunate by such good examples to also renew our own enthusiasm and also eagerness to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam and to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, Text 20. Nasike nirabhidyetam doduyati navaspati tatra vayur gandhavaho grano nasi jigrikshataha. Nasike, in the nostrils, nirabhidyetam, being developed, doduyati, rapidly blowing, navasvati, air respiration, tatra, thereupon, vayu, air, gandhavaha, smelling odor, grhanaha, sense of smell, nasi, in the nose, jigrikshata, desiring to smell odors. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thereafter, when the Supreme Purusha desired to smell odors, the nostrils and respiration were generated. The nostril instrument, the nasal instrument, and odors came into existence, and the controlling deity of air, carrying smell, also became manifested. Purport. The nasal instrument, odor, and the controlling deity of air, smelling, etc., all become manifested simultaneously when the Lord desired to smell. The Vedic mantras confirm this statement in the Upanishads statement that everything is first desired by the Supreme before the subordinate living energy can act upon it. The living energy can see only when the Lord sees. The living entity can smell when the Lord smells, and so on. The idea is that the living entity cannot do anything independently. He can simply think of doing something independently, but he cannot act independently. This independence in thinking is there by the grace of the Lord. But the thinking can be given shape by the grace of the Lord. And therefore the common saying is that man proposes and God disposes. The whole explanation is on the subject of the absolute dependence of the living entities and absolute independence of the Supreme Lord. Less intelligent persons claiming to be on an equal level with God must first prove themselves to be absolute and independent, and then they must substantiate their claim by being one with God, to being one with God. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. So here we're hearing about the Supreme Lord, how he manifested this world, this universe. Although it's saying here that we have no independence, we have minute independence, but we're not supremely independent. Just like a small child who's very stubborn, he wants something, so a parent gives him some, okay, you go and do like as you like, but is always being supervised and always being allowed to perform those activities. So we've heard, you've been following along on the creation, this whole early part of the Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj, although on the verge of death, leaving his kingdom, leaving his good wife, his riches, and all his near and dear items, identifying, because everyone in this world is very much attached to their bodies, very much attached to their family and possessions, working very hard, very eager to amass a kingdom. So Maharaj Pariksit had the kingdom, he had the wealth, he had everything that everyone is striving for. And he's on, before Shukadeva Goswami and all the great sages to discuss the problems of life and death. What are the problems? Birth, old age, disease, and death. Everyone has to die. We're in Vrindavan, we're seeing every day someone is passing away. Devotees are leaving. What to speak of the multitude of living entities that are dying every day. But in order to facilitate us, the Lord, our Father, very kind, he's a person. What goes on in the Vaikuntha Loka, Goloka Vrindavan, in that spiritual kingdom, huge manifestation, and only a small part. I was watching one interview with Prabhupada, someone was asking about the living entities who come to this material world. He suggested maybe 8-10%. Prabhupada said even less. It's like a prison house. You know, in a big open country, there are some prisons for the mischievous criminals who cannot abide by the laws of government, for the peace and tranquility of the citizens and themselves. So they're in prison, although they're still maintained. They have some minute independence within the prison, but very much controlled. Their eating is controlled, their dress is controlled, their movements are controlled in many ways. Every aspect of their existence is controlled. but there's some minute independence within the cell, this way, that way, thinking this and that. So Krishna, we're just hearing, because what other choice do we have? Those big scientists and philosophers and those PhDs and those who have so many awards for being great thinkers can speculate as to what is the nature of this world, what is material nature, what goes on in the moon and the Mars and Venus and other planets. They recognize that there are so many planets, hundreds of millions of planets within this universe floating in outer space, different size, different mixtures. They have no idea even the complexities of this material, of this earth, and the various species of life. They have anthropologists, and in the ocean they're studying the animals and the birds and the mammals and human beings, and the ideas of gods and demigods and ghosts and spirits. So there's so much to be understood. We have limited intelligence. Everyone has 4 defects. We make mistakes. We have imperfect senses. We're illusion. We have a cheating propensity. This is the basic makeup of this machine. Everyone has these machines. So the Lord expands himself and again expands himself. Then as Mahavishnu just takes a breath, deep breath, and out comes all these millions and millions of universes and millions and billions of planets and stars within each and every universe, and everything is functioning with unlimited living entities. And here we are in our tiny little Earth planet with the millions of planets. And Lord Brahma, considered the most pure, the most elevated living being, he is given birth and he's bewildered. He's trying to understand what is the purpose of my existence. So the Lord gives him tapa. He hears the word tapa. And it's described that he goes back to the lotus and he's looking on all directions. And by looking all directions, he developed his 4 heads. And this manifestation of Brahma, he performed tapa, performed austerities for many, many years. So giving us the understanding that human life is meant for some austerity. We're already undergoing austerities just to live. You have to get up and work hard and all day long and maintain family and maintain so many disturbances in our lives. So Lord Brahma performed tapa, and Krishna, being so pleased by his austerity, he personally manifested himself before Lord Brahma, gave him vision of the spiritual world by Vaikuntha, seeing all the beautiful transcendental personalities in the spiritual realm. And Lord Brahma was infused with the Vedic knowledge. Krishna tene Brahma hrida adikavaye muyanti surya. So in his heart was a revelation. And the Vedas are meant to know Krishna. Vedaischa sarva aham eva vedya. Vedanta krit veda ved eva chaham. Krishna is known through the Vedas. So although the material world was manifested for the individual, because of our individual misuse of our independence, we are trying to imitate God. Oh, if only I could be king. What it would be like to be the king? So Krishna gives us a kingdom. Give it a try. See if you like it, how it works for you. So it's not that he's sarcastic, but factually, to allow us to utilize our independence, Krishna's created this whole material manifestation. And then Lord Brahma was empowered as a secondary creator to create Lord Shiva and all the demigods and all the humans and animals and all the living entities within this creation, all these bodies. Now we're hearing how the Lord, through the Mahatattva and through the Kala factor, the time factor, and the manipulation of the 3 modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, he's developing everything so we can hear, so we can smell, we can taste, we can breathe, we can touch, we can move, we can think. and the air, the fire, the sound, all these ingredients, they don't just happen automatically. Although people may want to speculate Mother Nature is providing, why you care? In one sense, maybe we don't need to know all the details of the creation, just as Parikshit Maharaj was asking Shukadev Goswami, although he had such limited time, it's described that you would think that Parikshit Maharaj would say, well, tell me about Krishna, Goloka Vrindavan, the spiritual world, the perfection of life. Love. What is that love that Krishna is experiencing with his devotees, with his gopis and gopas? I want that love. Everyone looking for love. Everyone looking for happiness and peace, that place where you can feel total harmony with nature and love people and people love him. And, family, real family, spiritual family, eternal family. Everyone's looking for these things. Unfortunately, in the material world, we usually have a disastrous end by getting old, diseased, and die. And everyone's forced to this because this is the nature of the material world. But Parikshit Maharaj, although he knew everything, he's a Vishnu Rata, and Sukadeva Goswami was blessed by his Narada Muni, Vyasadev, Sukadeva Goswami, Guru Parampara, this knowledge. Even Narada was asking Brahma, well, are you the supreme? I see you're worshiping someone. Lord Brahma explained, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchirananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karna Karna. Krishna, Govinda is the cause of all causes. He manifested the whole material universe. He entered into the universe. He animated everything. He glanced on material nature, impregnated material nature with all the living beings. And then Lord Brahma, according to the propensity of each living entity and his karma nadeva nitrena, making a suitable body with a certain type of hearing, certain type of smell, certain type of eyes and sensations. The eagles, they have different power of eyes. The hogs, they like the taste of stool. And the pigeons, they can perform many wonderful sexual activities on a regular basis all day long. So there are different facilities given with different bodies, just like different vehicles. If you have a small little tricycle, or you could be in a Ferrari or whatever fast cars are out there in the sports world. So we have this beautiful sports car, this human form of life. And the human form of life is a creation of the material modes of nature. It's made of water, fire, air, bones, skin, blood, stool, urine. We have a brain. We have intelligence. Everyone can understand that this whole machinery is not created by the scientists. It's not created by the Ford factory and the auto shops and all the computer chip makers. They want to make some robotic living beings. They can assist us in our daily chores and maybe pleasures in life. But machine is machine. No one's ever made anything that actually is alive. Like Krishna's complete. He's perfect. Om Purnam Purnam. He's a supreme, complete, perfect being, and he makes other complete beings, which can also reproduce. So material world is perpetuated in this mystery of life that Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring from Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami is very pleased. Parikshit Maharaj, you're asking such wonderful questions as to the purpose and goal of life, or the creation, and how the whole manifestation has come about, and how to maneuver through this manifestation so that I can actually get to the other side. The other side means to, beyond birth and death, where Krishna lives. Natad Basayate Suryo na Shashanko na Pavaka. There's no need of sun or moon or electricity. Everything is self-effulgent. Everything is brilliant by nature, spiritual world. Just like the spirit soul just 1/10,000th, the part of the tip of a hair, just for our mathematical or our teeny brain understanding. We're trying to understand, okay, the tip of a hair is very tiny, then cut that 100 times and then again 100 times, and you can't see it with a microscope, you can't perceive it. So the mundane scientists and biologists and great thinkers, they think, okay, consciousness, it's a combination of material chemicals after long evolution. You know, there comes aquatics, there comes monkeys, and from monkeys, human beings come. It's complete speculation, and none of it makes really any sense to a sensible person. And even Darwin himself was saying, perhaps, maybe it could be like this. And even the Nobel Prize winners of trying to understand microbiotics or how life originates, when they're offered let us give you all the ingredients that you need. No, we still cannot produce. So we have no choice in the matter other than hearing from our mother, the Vedas. Who is our father? Krishna, Vishnu, Narayan. All religions have so many names. God has unlimited names. Nam Nama Kari Bahudani Jasarva Shaktis. But Krishna, he is in his name in the form of sound vibration. In this sound vibration that we're chanting it regularly, at least 16 rounds. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This sound vibration is given by even Narada Muni on his Veena. He's playing these beautiful musical ragas, and all the ragas are different melodies of the Mahamantra in order to attract Krishna or reciprocate a relationship. And Krishna is unlimited, and there's unlimited living entities. So there's unlimited ragas and beautiful ways of expressing our love and attraction to Krishna in an unpretentious way. It was said a few times in the earlier part that because the pure devotee is unpretentious, and Krishna reveals himself to the devotee. So Arjuna, he revealed himself because you're my friend and you're my devotee. And devotee means that we perform devotional service, that we're hearing from the pure devotee. I mean, we're speaking so much about the wonderful accomplishments of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who was dedicated to serving Srila Prabhupada, dedicated to the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Because that misuse of our independence comes in many ways. Not only do we fall out of the spiritual world and are given jurisdiction within this material world, imprisonment. We have a life imprisonment in the Durga's fort, this cage of material existence, of repeated birth and death and suffering. From the highest planet to the lowest planet are places of suffering. But sometimes, even in the pursuit of religion, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, we find something we owe. There's God, there's religion. Oh, there are saintly persons. There are many saintly persons. Why we have to hear this from one saintly person? We can hear from many saintly persons. But that conclusion that is being given to Parikshit Maharaj, that is given to Vidura from Maitreya, Vidura, Yamaraj himself, and he was going to take instruction from Uddhava, but Uddhava saying, no, Maitreya, personally instructed by the Lord, beautiful, wonderful, powerful, pure devotee, we hear from him. Maitreya is enlivened to answer Vidura, just as Shukadeva Goswami is enlivened to answer Parikshit Maharaj, and all the sages were enlivened by Sutta Goswami's discussions. So the Bhagavatam and this Guru Parampara is coming to us by the mercy of Krishna. Krishna is the originator of this Guru Parampara. And we're in the Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. We're called Rupa Nugas. We were followers of Rupa Goswami. The 6 Goswamis are eternal associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And these 6 Goswamis scrutinized all the revealed scriptures for the benefit of mankind. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta predicted that that great personality of Vaicharanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada would be empowered to carry this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. That Lord Chaitanya wanted Bharata Bhumi Te Hoila Manusha Janma Jar Janma Sarthaka Kore Kara Parupakar, that you are born in Bharatvarsha, you are representative of the Vedic culture. It's your duty to spread this knowledge all over the world for the benefit of humanity and all mankind. And Prabhupada did that. And seeing how he struggled in one sense, but always had full faith in Krishna and Guru, the order of his spiritual master, despite the insurmountable difficulties coming to America. That's a whole book in itself. Undergoing so much setback, it appears most people would just give up and go home and go meditate in Vrindavan and forget about the whole thing. But Prabhupada carried on and very personally, very methodically and meticulously took care of each and every question, each and every person, meeting dignitaries, meeting bums off the street, hippies. And despite the criticism of the caste Goswamis and even God brothers who may have considered, oh, Prabhupada was a grihasta, we're sannyasis, and how is it that they're giving him more credit, more recognition? When Prabhupada went back after forming the International Society for Krishna Consciousness and preaching all day long, encouraging his devotees, resting for a couple of hours, rising at midnight, chanting on his beats, praying to Krishna, please give me the power, make my words suitable for the understanding of the audience by your grace, so that they can actually understand the importance of this message of Bhagavatam. Prabhupada, it's not for a show, no one's watching, no one's filming, that he has to perform some extraordinary activity just to glorify his spirituality, but out of genuine desire to release the conditioned souls. He'd be translating, taking the commentaries of all the great acharyas, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami. We can research on our own. We can also go live in, Radhakund, Nandagram, and hear all the different gurus' teachings. But this is not the process of Guru Parampara. We should be very careful of this independent spirit of venturing this way and that way. If you have a chance, it's posted all over the internet, how Gopal Krishna Maharaj very much emphatically stated our fidelity and our being true to him, to Prabhupada and Prabhupada's mission and Prabhupada's books and teachings. So much nectar, every page. I could read the first canto every day for the rest of my life. Second canto, third canto. Read Bhagavad Gita every day. Newer and newer realizations. Nectar, devotion, Krishna book, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We don't need to go here, there, and everywhere and study this, that. What will we understand about the creation and the complexities of how sound and how taste and how the different material elements, earth, water, fire, and each one has a different quality behind it, and how it's all put together, and how our body is formed, and we are embedded within this body with our ego and our mind. with our desire to enjoy this world, and we're given, okay, go, here's your body, now go for it. But I'm giving guidance. If you want to understand how to best utilize this machine, this yantra, if we can utilize our hands in the service of Krishna and our legs in the service of Krishna, this is the best process. Krishna, although Brahma, it appears that he didn't take a guru, that Krishna personally revealed to Brahma the Vedic literature, but it said that he was the purest, considered the most advanced devotee in the universe, and setting a good example from that point, that about this guru-disciple relationship is very important. One should not be independently thinking that, yeah, there's so many good advice, but I have my own ideas. We have so many ideas, but again, our senses are not perfect. We make mistakes, we're illusion. We have a cheating propensity, we're driven by lust, anger, greed, and we have so many disqualifications that if we just submissively take shelter under the devotees and take guidance from the devotees, serve the devotees, we can actually get a realization. This is devotional service. Prabhupada didn't want lazy, crazy people. I was reading a pastime, Mayapur, when Prabhupada was a little bit heavy. He was heavy on the devotees that on every aspect, on management, and he was giving great examples. I read something the other day which I sent to my management leaders. I just thought about it now. I just want to read it to you. It's really good. It says, one of the managers said it was difficult to get the devotees to clean in the early morning because they all wanted to complete their japa. Prabhupada, however, said cleaning must come first and the chanting of japa another time. He stressed that unless they are prepared to work, no one should be allowed to join us. Shri Vigrahara Dana Nityanana Shringaratan Mandira Marjanada. This is all temple. This is not ordinary hotel, free hotel. If they cannot take care of as temple, they must go away. Simply eating, sleeping, that's all not working. See that they do not make this a free hotel for eating and sleeping. Don't allow this. It should be cleaned. Why in the evening? Every morning it should be cleaned and washed and mopped. They must give up japa. First of all, clean. In the name of japa, they are dozing, sleeping. And everything is unclean. This nonsense should not be allowed. Ask them, stop japping. First of all, clean, then make japa. Under a plea of japa, they're simply dozing, he said. You should not give shelter to persons who, in the name of so-called japa, take advantage of free board and lodging. You should be very careful. Everyone should be, according to his capacity, engaged to some work. Do not allow this stupidity. His inspection was thorough and penetrating, delving into every aspect of management, from the buildings to the crops. He was pleased to hear the devotees are growing sugar cane, make gore from it. With good humor and practical intelligence, he encouraged the devotees to continue working hard for Krishna, for the development of both Mayapur and their own spiritual lives. I just thought it was very interesting that Prabhupada, he didn't want lazy and crazy people. In the name of religion, yes, I have my bead bag, I have my kuntamala, and I have my room, I have my prasad, and I'll lackadaisically do something. No, Prabhupada wanted, he also pushed, he said, you're all Europeans, Americans. If you don't do something wonderful, what is the value of you coming from such a great nation? So it's not that we're giving up japa. Obviously, Srila Prabhupada wanted we chant our japa very carefully, that we read his books very carefully, that we follow his example of working hard for spreading Krishna consciousness, because an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Prabhupada set up the whole Varnashram system in a beautiful way for Kali Yuga. He made temples. He taught us how to make our house a temple, how to worship the deity, how to clean the temple, how to chant, how to, hear the pastimes of the Lord in the sadhu sangha, in the association of devotees. Then, by the process of devotional service, but only by devotional service we can actually get a realization of Krishna. Krishna is in our heart. Krishna is watching us. He's guiding us at every moment. He sees what our intentions are. He sees where our mind is. And we're all looking for sense gratification. We're all looking to become happy. But by trying to gratify our mind and senses in the material world, we end up digging our own grave and complicating our karmic reactions for good and bad. This akama sarvo kamo va moksha kamo daradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham. If you're full of material desires, serve Krishna. You have no desires, serve Krishna. It doesn't matter. By chanting Krishna's name and performing devotional service, Krishna will awaken with us the understanding to come to him, how we can come to him. Krishna bhakta nishkama ateva shanta, bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakaleya shanta. Those who are simply mental speculators, reading so many books, bookworms, without any proper guidance. What good is it reading 100,000 books if it doesn't awaken our desire for devotional service to Krishna? Bhukti and siddhi kami. I want to become powerful. I want to have mystic yoga, or I want to have, gratification of my senses. But Krishna Bhakta Nishkama, he has no desire for his personal self, but he works. He engages himself in activity, but everything is dedicated to the purpose of serving Krishna. So this was the example Gopal Krishna Maharaj said, by tirelessly working temples, bringing so many conditioned souls to Krishna consciousness, promoting book distribution, and preaching very enthusiastically, glorifying Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. And Srila Prabhupada, also by his personal example and personal endeavor, he set a wonderful example. He set the whole society into action. He established Vrindavan Dham, Mayapur Dham, Shishirada, Rasa Bihari in Mumbai, and so many other temples all over the world, farm communities, schools, educating the devotees in every aspect of cleanliness and of devotion. So we should feel very fortunate, and our understanding of how the creation takes place will be manifest by Krishna. He'll give us that buddhi, that intelligence necessary. But we have to also come to the stage of surrendering in a very loyal way, chaste way to Prabhupada. And don't let sometimes we want to find fault, or many times we want to find fault. The society is doing things wrong. We should do it this way, not that way. And, that there was this issue and that, the Ritvik issue, the poison issue, the ISKCON has gone through many, many changes with Prabhupada leaving. Whenever a great personality leaves, then there's always a bit of a disturbance in the society. And people will say, well, it wasn't meant to be like this. It should have been like that. And there could be countless discussions and arguments on how things should have been, could have been. Hopefully, if, we had Trikala Gya vision, past, present, and future. But personally, I feel if we work on ourselves in our own Krishna consciousness, learning tolerance, Titikshava Karunika Suhrida Saradena, tolerance, and humility, respect for others, not expecting anything in return, and genuinely, actively engaging ourselves in Prabhupada's service, then Krishna will rectify whatever shortcomings our society has. Sure, the GBC is not perfect, but the Prabhupada wanted that they take care of all the details of, how to deal with sannyasis, with grahastas, with women, children, in the temple, out of the temple, as far as the details. I'm sure there's numerous letters that Prabhupada would respond to and give guidance and enlightenment. So we keep hearing, read, stay steady, have a steady regulation, because anything anyone wants to achieve in life, whether you want to be a professional dancer or speaker or anything, takes practice, it takes rehearsal. Practice makes perfect. But of course, not just our own endeavor, but it's our intention. Krishna knows. And if we're applying ourselves in Krishna consciousness, studying the books, wanting to do something to be instrumental in serving Krishna society cooperatively with all the other devotees, that was one of the main issues, that your love for me will be tested by how you cooperate together in this mission of Krishna consciousness. So we expect others, and if somebody is not behaving properly, we avoid them. And those who are our equals, we befriend them. Those who are superiors, we serve them. And those who are subordinate, we give mercy and guidance. So we're all together in one family, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And I feel fortunate somehow. Gopal Krishna Maharaj in 1993 asked me to be the vice president in Vrindavan. I worked with Kadamba Kanana Maharaj for a few years. Then I stayed on in Vrindavan. And now the last 15 years, they asked me to be president. So trying to do something, even though I feel in many ways unqualified, more senior devotees are there, I'm sure more capable. But everyone has sometimes an opportunity. And if we stay steady, despite the difficulties and challenges, and if we sincerely and enthusiastically perform our duties, Krishna recognizes, even the people or authorities that you're working with, they'll recognize too that this is a very enthusiastic and determined person, and Krishna is giving him intelligence and empowering him. So not that we want to work our way up the ranks, that, I want to become sergeant, lieutenant, captain, general, king, God, not like that. Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das, Das, Anudas. We want to be a servant of the servant, be humble. But those are the ones, the gopis are serving. The gopas, they're very simple, just love Krishna. And we can also learn to love Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And again, thank you very much for allowing me to say a few words. I'm sure that there might be some questions, comments, or complaints. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Your words may be few, but they are very powerful and saturated with devotion. So we thank you for being here with us and sharing your wisdom with us. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, realizations, you indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to speak. See, Prabhuji, I do not think that Krishna can be blamed for our nonsense, but what is said in this particular chapter, what we discussed today and the previous texts, plus Srila Prabhupada's purport, may give the license for one to blame Krishna for their nonsense, in the sense that, if I may put the verse back on the screen, it is said that when Krishna desired, when the Supreme Purusha desired to smell others, the nostrils and the respiration were generated, the nasal instrument. And so when Krishna desires, then the living entity can also have that same affinity to Krishna's desire. So does that mean that when I desire to do nonsense, Krishna originally, the Purusha, desired that is also making me have such desires to act upon them?
Yeah, it's not that, I mean, Krishna is the origin of everything. You may say, oh, where's this stealing propensity come from? Yes, Krishna. Where does evil come from? Yes, everything comes from Krishna. And Krishna gives us independence. But in order to facilitate us so that we can smell, we can hear, we can see, we can move about, and we can utilize that independence, because Krishna is supremely independent. But if Krishna doesn't wish it, then we couldn't smell, we couldn't see, we couldn't do any of those things. So it's not that Krishna has the intention that we'll use them for a bad thing. Sometimes, like a gun is made, it can protect one and it can uphold religious principles, or you can commit crime and kill people. So the knife could be used to cut nice fruits, or even perform a nice operation to save someone's life, or cut someone's throat and kill them. So the full spectrum is available. Otherwise, what is the meaning of independence? And even though we may think, well, this nasty desire that's keeping me away from Krishna comes from Krishna. So yes, everything is there, but also the love comes from Krishna, and the goodness comes from Krishna, and the brilliant aspects of the spiritual world are available. Now you choose. You want to go this way or that way. And it's like, otherwise we'll become robotic, we become some kind of mechanism that's functioning according to the programming of the operator, and we have no real independence. We really don't have independence, but there's minute independence. And that minute independence is being inspired by Krishna by giving us the Vedic literature, giving us the saintly persons, and giving us guidance. So don't go off track. But if you want to go off track, that's available too, because Krishna is everything, complete. And you're not really satisfied.
Well, Prabhuji, thank you for the answer. But this again leads me to thinking that when we do our japa, when we chant our rounds, there should be some desire behind the japa that we're chanting. That if I'm just chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, what is the desire for me doing that? And I had heard from one devotee that when we chant, we should also, like in our minds, pray for Krishna's help, that we can remember his name, we can remember him at all times. So should there be any desire behind our japa, or we should just chant without having any desire when we chant?
Well, meaning desire is not, we can never not have desire. We're living entities with unlimited desires, but we're dovetailing our desires for the satisfaction of Krishna. We're praying that somehow I've fallen to this ocean of birth and death. Pick me up as one of your servants, engage me in your service. But our only desire is to become the servants of Krishna, let me give up my other desires, give up my other temptations and things which are distracting me. Not, but we don't spend the whole time thinking of these things, and otherwise the job is totally disturbed. But by chanting the mantra, it's like taking a powerful medicine. We may know the effects of the mantra or not know the effects of the mantra, but the medicine has its potencies. But our duty is to avoid offenses and to think and to see how it can dovetail all our desires towards pleasing Krishna. That's how I understand it. I'm sure there are more explanations and more depth to that, and I understand your point, but that's where I'm at.
Well, I honestly accept your response, but I always have bad because well, I think I will accept it that way.
You may desire to get well, to be healthy, so that's why I'm chanting, because I'm full of all kinds of desires, and I'm full of all kinds of attachments which are keeping me from Krishna. So I'm chanting so that I can come free from these desires. And that's a desire in itself. But ultimately, that desire is vented towards becoming Krishna's lover.
Yeah. So when the scriptures say pure devotional service is performed without motivation and interruption, I'm thinking that means that no personal motivation for like self-aggrandizement. But if there is no motivation, it's going to be difficult for one to carry on something for such, like excuse me, say, like in the case of disciples of Srila Prabhupada. If there is nothing motivating them, they wouldn't be here till now. So there should be some motivation. But if the scriptures say pure devotional service is without motivation, I'm thinking that refers to being motivated for personal aggrandizement, for something materialistic, or there shouldn't be any motivation at all.
Well, like Dhruva Maharaj, he had an intense desire for a huge kingdom, bigger than his father, bigger than Brahma. And although he was performing devotional service, it took some time before he really realized, I'm looking for broken pieces of glass, and I got the biggest, most beautiful gem. So we may not be in that pure devotional service as devotees. We might still have many shortcomings and difficulties in our lives. But we know the formula, we know the medicine. We're trying to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada and the process of devotional service, so that we will one day become totally free of all personal desires. And our only desire will be to serve Krishna and the Vaishnavas and give this message to others. So that becomes a purified heart.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. At the moment, my motivation to performing devotional service is to go back home, back to Godhead. Maybe along the line, that motivation may be gone, and I'll just be interested in serving the Supreme Lord. It doesn't matter where my next destination will be. But at this present moment, my motivation, my desire is to go back home and never to come back here.
Just stay in the shelter of the devotees and Vaishnavas and be enthusiastic to spread Krishna consciousness. You'll be pure-heartedly going back home, back to Godhead, without doubt.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Anyone else with something to ask or share before Prabhuji leaves? Prabhu, since you are here, I see the way your name is spelled today is one word, but other times it's spelled as two words. Is it one or two? Is it country one and GAUDA one?
I do both, varieties of spice and life, but I've seen in the Chaitanya Charitamrita as one, and GAUDA, they were like servants of Jagannath, and also the Holy Land where Chaitanya and Nityananda appear, like Gauda Desh, Pancha Gauda, Pancha Rita. So I it's mainly one word, but
Okay.
I sometimes I sign it, on my checks and different things as 2 words. It's
Okay.
a little more distinction for people to. It's just a matter, I guess.
All right.
Preference.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I think we will prefer to go with one word.
Okay.
All right. Jai Krishna Prabhu, thank you also. Thank you so much for your association. Anyone else with something to share before Prabhuji leaves for the day? And as always, we thank you all for your association.
Jai Krishna is coming with me to Vrindavan in end of July. He wants to surrender fully in Vrindavan Dham.
Jai! Hare Krishna.
He's leaving his ocean front. He's on the ocean, quiet Caribbean, loving the peace and tranquility, but he wants to submerge himself in the spiritual world of Vrindavan Dham and prepare.
Yeah.
He wants to prepare for the journey back home, back to Godhead.
Wow, that's beautiful. May Sri Guru Krishna bless him. Here in the States, lots of people take holidays going to DR, and he's leaving DR to go to Vrindavan, of course, for spiritual purpose. That's wonderful. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing about His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. His passing is a big blow to the movement in general and to devotees in particular. Particularly myself, even though he is not my Diksha Guru, but I have come to love him so much because of his love. He's such that just by coming close to him, you will love him. That is just his nature. And we met him a couple times in Toronto, where he was the JBC. And he always welcomed us with such warmth. So we pray that he may help us remain in Srila Prabhupada's house. It was very important that you were stressing on devotees' integrity to Srila Prabhupada. In these modern days, there is so much information going on everywhere, especially online, social media, that if one is not very careful, he can be distracted quite easily. So this sense of integrity is very important. And I don't think there is a limit to stressing that importance in devotees' life. So thank you for hitting that. And with that being said,
I have to be thankful to him because not only he invited me for vice president, but back in 2009, again, he almost demanded, no, you must come back to Vrindavan. And so as a result, my life is around Vrindavan Dham and my family as well. So, and eternal gratitude for that from Maharaj. He encouraged me to take up the service again in Braj.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, we all have benefited and will continue to benefit from him if we take the advantage. So with that being said, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace Panchagoda Prabhu, the president of Vrindavan. So to some of us who haven't been to Vrindavan, Vrindavan has visited us today. So may we all Jai Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chakalpa Taribhyasya Kripasya Titanam Pavanabhyo Krishna. All glories to His Grace Panchagoda Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.